I'm joined now by Epstein survivor Annie Farmer. Annie, you just listened to Nicole. I'm sure you've gotten through your survivor sisters a sense of what happened or did not happen today. Give me your initial response.
Hi, Major. Good to be back with you. I think, we came into today hoping that potentially we would finally get some answers about what went wrong with this process, but expecting that it might be what we saw today, which was more, just a lack of information, really. No substantive responses, a lot of not saying she doesn't remember things or passing the buck on to Todd Blanche. So, unfortunately, we're still left with a lot of questions.
That part about Todd Blanche strikes me as interesting, Annie, and I'd like your assessment. We all know, but just a quick reminder, Todd Blanche, former personal attorney to President Trump. He was essentially blamed by Bondi, the former attorney general today, for all of the foul-ups in over-redaction or under-redaction. And that would suggest that maybe the former personal attorney to the President of the United States made mistakes. I don't know if they were intentional or not, but it seems to the average layperson like me, that adds more smoke.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good look at all. I also found that interesting. I mean, I would think as the head of the department that she would need to take accountability for what happened under her watch. But the fact that she says that Todd Blanche is really the one that made these decisions, I think it does raise the importance of bringing him in to answer the questions. And there's already been, I think, a real interest from Epstein survivors about getting answers to things related to Ghislaine Maxwell's questioning, her prison transfer. We knew that he was the person responsible for a lot of that. And I think this just adds now, knowing that maybe he was making some of these decisions in regards to the very problematic redaction issues, that we need to hear from him directly and we need real answers.
Annie, we've talked before, and I'm always grateful for your presence on this program. It's not, as I've heard you and other of your survivor sisters say, this is not about prosecuting President Trump. It's about
Mhm.
unveiling anyone and everyone who had some manner of complicity. If that leads to charges, so be it. If it only leads to reputational harm, so be it. But let's lay it all out. How far away do you feel we are from that laying it all out reality?
Yeah, I think we have a ways to go. I mean, we certainly have seen with the information that's come out that there's been more attention on some of these people that were very much involved in this network, and that they're not facing any criminal charges at this time. We haven't seen the prosecution piece, but we have seen a lot of loss of titles, of power, of in some cases, professional opportunities. So I think that is something, but we also know that there are real substantive leads in these files that could potentially lead to criminal prosecution, right? And so until we have, number one, all of the information out, we really won't know what else is missing. We won't have answers to some fundamental questions about how this happened and why. And then I think we won't feel closer to really that truth and transparency.
Let me ask you two questions, and they're related. There's activity in France and there's activity in the United Kingdom. Leads that have been detected are being followed actively in both of those countries. And in New Mexico, the legislature and the Attorney General are pursuing leads related to Zorro Ranch. Give me your evaluation of those two things, what's happening in Europe and what's happening in New Mexico.
I think it's really hopeful to see that there are places that are taking this serious as an investigation of a crime, right? I know more about what's happening here in the US, in New Mexico. And I think it's since we have been so frustrated at the federal level by the ability to see progress happening in terms of investigation. I'm really glad to know that lawmakers in New Mexico are taking this seriously, that they have convened this body to investigate, and they're holding public hearings to update the public on what they're finding out. And so I'm hoping that's a model for other states. I know there's already been some conversations about potential other states that might do something similar. We'll see how that plays out. But I believe there are many paths towards getting more accountability and more justice. And if the federal government, in particular the DOJ, is not willing to help us in that regard, there may be other ways that we can approach it.
Before I let you go, Annie, on this program, the New Mexico Attorney General confirmed that among the things that they are investigating on Zorro Ranch property is a possible location of human remains. Do you think it could be that bad?
It would just be speculation on my part, right? I hope that that is not the case, of course, that the tragedy included that type of death. But I'm glad that they are looking into it, because if it's not investigated, we will never know.
Annie Farmer, it's always a pleasure to have you on the program. I thank you for your time, as always.
Thank you so much.